do a jiu-jitsu, but a little more open, okay? So it's not going to be a grab or anything, but still keep it slow. If you're really trying to train the mind. You're into what is my mind doing, okay? Your uke, they can do whatever, strikes, takedowns, counters, surrounding, okay? And then you can do whatever, but we don't have weapons, okay? But keep it slow. Don't kill each other. Okay, the mind will reveal itself. Okay. All right. So we go. Keeps going. And try not to go like he goes. Like, try to stay at his speed. All right? Here we go. So your Kihon Waza gives you, if you don't understand it, it gives you the illusion of agency. But Jiu-jitsu is not about agency. So you're like, I can't tilt him. He has to tilt himself. Okay, so we're going, right? So here it is right here. Go do whatever. So that pressure when he pushed my hand down, do you see? So here, he clears my hand, pushes down, and there's the tilt. You see? That's the tilt I want. So then you have your tilt. But your tilt is from the yield. So if you look, you're going to do kokyu ho, right? And a lot of people do like an arm manipulation. But he's pushing, and that energy is what I use to get this. When you're not working Kihon Waza, the tilt is much smaller. You keep going, dude. Tilt is much smaller. So stay where you are. Don't move. Don't move. Okay? It looks like he's upright, but if you look at his shoulders, he's not. Do you see that? You guys see that? So it's not no Kihon Waza, but it is conceptually what you're doing. And now I don't go for it because I can feel his power. He's trying to not go. You see, he's trying to straighten it. And it's when he straightens it that you have the other tilt, okay? So I'll try to demonstrate that. Watch how it's micro tilts, not big Kihon Waza tilt, okay? So even on that one, when it came around, you see me tilted. So watch. When he goes for it, go. You see? Go for it. And there's the tilt. Just look closely. Lower shoulder, higher shoulder. You see? If he's passive, I'll get it. But now he has to react to it. So he does react to it, and then that's where you get your things. You understand? Tilt. He reacts to it. Back. He reacts to it. There's the tilt. Go, keep going. Keep going. Tilt. Everything is exaggerated in Kihon Waza for training purposes. So understanding it conceptually means not exactly like Kihon Waza. Let's go. So since you're training, obviously you're not fighting because you don't have your weapons, right? But you're training, and so you make this kind of specialized environment where you could observe these skill sets. Okay? You have to first know what are these skill sets. and never confuse these skill sets with the totality, okay? So, when you do your Iaido, I talked about how there's points in the form where you're going to basically do a standing meditation, right? You should look for those points here too, okay? So, if you pay attention, it's deceiving because you can't feel it. Only he can feel it, you see. So, I'll kind of talk my way. So this situation here is already some specialized skill set. Because if I had weapons, I wouldn't be here. You see that? I think the only way to be here with weapons is he got me in the corner, you see. You get it? He's closer than that. You'd have to be close. We're here like that. And now we're in that range. So we don't need the corner to practice that range. Got it? Okay. And so, since I want to practice that range, not practice fighting, when he goes, eventually, keep going, dude. I'll talk. I'll tell you to stop if you don't. I don't want you to. So when he goes, you see his little hook punch that he got as I'm coming in. That's not going to do what he thinks he's going to do, because I'm moving past it into here. You see? But look at the tilt that I got. You see? So you're going to hit me harder with that. Boom. It's not going to do what he thinks it's going to do. Okay? But I got the tilt. Okay? And now it looks. Let's push into each other. It looks. No, don't let me push you. Hold your base. It looks like we're doing that. But I'm just here, right? Do you feel push into me? Do you feel that difference? Okay. No, I'm here, push. This is different. So it's not, so in other words, push into each other and quickly get out of the way. Then you'll see me fall. I am pressing, or I am touching him, but as he's pushing into me, I'm just grounded. He quickly moves out of the way. It's like he was never on me. You see that? But I want to practice that range. But when I get here, you have to not want to push into him. This is your place, like in the Iaido, where you're just relaxed and releasing, and he's pushing on you, you see? And part of that is, if you pay attention, I don't try for this move here. I don't try for that tilt. I go ahead and let him respond to the tilt. You see? And I'm not, well, I didn't get what I want. So he's going to eventually push because he went back out. And that's where I get here. And again, I know I'm touching him, but I'm not driving into him, driving to me. I'm not driving into him. I'm just here. So if he pushes, we don't go anywhere. You can't push, you see? If you let go really fast, it's like I'm not doing anything. So here again, I'm here. And here's where the ego tripartite mind wants to get something. Don't. Train. He does something. Go ahead, I don't know. And he does something. Go ahead. Do you understand? And so, if you look at it, even though it looks like fighting, it's not fighting. I'm training my mind. And so I kind of trigger it with grounding. I release the trigger that happens, and I release the desire to do something and the desire to stop something. You see? So just like in the Iaido, in those moments, release the fear, release the desire to do something, release the fear of having something happen. Okay? And who cares? Like, he got me an omoplata that one time. Like, that was badass. I don't need to go like, okay? So we're going again, and I'll try, you should just keep going. So again, it looks like I'm driving like that, but he's moving back, and I'm staying with him. get myself in that situation again. Watch your balls. Can't handle a lefty? Oh, watch your balls. Yeah, he's moving, I'm sticking with him. Again, looks like I'm doing that. You go dead. I'm just maintaining contact. Can you go forward though? Okay? Okay. All right, let's go. So I was waiting for you. If you weren't going to say it, I was going to say it too. Okay, so you're just lost, right? And so you finally expressed it correctly, like, I don't know what to do. Okay. And as I said, the only reason you're asking that question is, how do I move past not knowing what to do? How do I solve for this problem, you see? Okay. And generally, there's only two reasons why this manifests. I don't know what to do. I'm lost, you see. So someone is coming in with all these attacks, and I'm just like, oh, do you see? So these are actually the two wings on the dojo crest. You have 3 wings on the dojo crest. There's a 2 on the side. The 2 solutions I'm going to give you. Okay. It's Shuhari is what that little pyramid makes, but it's the tripartite or the triune cosmology. You understand? You have 2 things, but really there's just one. Where you work in these trios. Okay. But in Shuhari, you have form and non-form, or form and the deconstruction of form. You see? And then you have this other state that's somewhere perfectly balanced in the middle, which would be the reconciliation of form and non-form. That's the crest in the dojo. They're in the diamond shape because traditionally the diamond is representative of the mind, especially the freed ego tripartite mind, the God mind, the Buddha mind. But if I can bring this a little bit down to earth, I just wanted to point it out. You're in the place where you do that, okay? Where you stop being lost. But the 2 solutions are, well, you have to have some form, okay? And your form has to be able to address all the things that are coming up here, okay? So for example, not many nagewaza. Did you see that? Okay. And so I've already commented on this many times. And Ronan, you can chime in as the uke. Why was there not many nagewaza, if any? Anyone can talk.
Because there was no one bridging the gap with the energy that would facilitate.
Okay, let's do a little better and use my phrases. You're right, but I would like my Deshi to understand it in my phrases, since your job is to gain transmission here. What do I call that? Yang. I know it's yang.
Spinal displacement.
Spinal displacement. So his offense had no spinal displacement to it. Do you see? Now, you can answer this, Ronan, because you would know, but the rest of you should be able to see this. Why was there no spinal displacement?
You're stuck.
What?
Because you're stuck.
No. Who did? So think about it. You see, that's that agency that a lot of people that do Aikido, they don't understand. But even modern competition arts, like the modern Jiu-jitsu, they don't understand this either. So they have a lot of agency to their Jiu-jitsu, making it not Jiu-jitsu anymore. See? So, and hence why they can't fight bigger people anymore. Do you see? They have to have weight categories. It's like a few decades ago, that's what you were supposed to do. But now they just go, no, strength matters. Do you see? Weight matters. It's like Jiu-jitsu had sold itself for, I don't know, probably 1,000 years with no, weight and strength does not matter. Okay, but nowadays they're like, we are the evolved culture. We know. They didn't know what they were doing. What about if you just suck at it and you can't do what they could do about it? Maybe that's a plausible answer as well. Not according to our theory of evolution. Yeah, fuck that. Okay? So, it's not that I stopped him from doing it. I would want him to do it, you see? So, see if you could put it together with that clue. Why did he not? Why was there no spinal displacement? Why? What was he allowed to do in the drill? Anything. Do you see? So any counter, any kind of attack, do you see that? Oh, he feels himself going off balance. What do you think he did? Regained his balance. Do you think he regained it going forward? No, because he would go into the, do you see that? So he's making these little micro adjustments to try to stop any kind of that yang energy that would lead to a spinal displacement, lead to becoming a spinal displacement tactic. He may have done it like once, two, three times, I think, in there, but even in the midst of the throw, he was reducing how much spinal displacement he did. And so you don't see the big kihon. Do you see that? But in real fighting, right, boom, I slammed him. There was like a juji nage or something in there, and he went down on all fours, right? And boom, and I can now draw my weapon. You see, this thing's over, okay? And here it looks like it was nothing. In real life, that would, you watch the video and go, where did the opening come? Boom, I slammed him down on all fours with the juji nage, you see? You get it? Okay. So don't look for the big nagewaza, especially in a drill where a trained Aikidoka is going to go, I'm not spinally displacing that motherfucker. Do you see that? Okay, so he's constantly countered. He was constantly countered. It might look to you like it's 1, 2, but no, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 got it. Do you understand? There's constant little micro countering going on in there. And that's the funness of the drill. It's like, can you adapt with this ever-changing situation? Okay? So you would need to have form or waza that would be able to address all of these things, you see. If all you're doing is kihon waza, it's not going to work here because he's never going to give you the tactical opening for nage waza. Do you understand? And this is where most Aikido people go, I would just eat imi. You say, well, now you're doing spinal displacement on another trained Aikidoka, so you see where that lands you. Okay, you get it? So maybe you look at you, okay, we have to come back to the training equation, you see. If you don't believe me, you could look at who was more successful on the mat, calculate their weekly schedule against the less successful on the mat, their weekly schedule, and now times that by, what is it? How many, 72 weeks? Is it in a year?
52.
52 weeks in a year, and now it's like, we shouldn't have to look any further. Do you understand that? Do you guys get that? But a lot of people don't go, no, I know all the techniques that they know. You know what I mean? And you probably, in terms of academically, do you see? But in terms of getting that to where it functions more through a metacognition as opposed to straight intellect, that training equation is everything. Okay, do you get that? Okay, so you got to go there. Do you have, for example, I think we could take the 3 senpai in here, and they're doing a mixture of very similar to what you saw me doing. It's like striking, throwing, grappling, ground fighting, back to striking, back to locking. Do you see that? Okay, so now, well, you might know all your kihon waza, but do you know all those locks? Do you know all those counters, all the takedowns, you know? So like I think in the first break, Ronan did omoplata. Do you know omoplata? Do you know what I mean? And at what level? Do you understand that? Do you know it enough to see it from upside down 2, 3 rotations in the spiral like he saw it? Do you see? Or even as I go, oh, you got it. It was like 2, 3 moves away. Do you see? Do you see it there? Probably not. So form is part of the problem, and form is a problem of training equation. You just don't have enough hours. There's just no way around that. Or you don't have enough curriculum. There's no way around it. No amount of God mind is going to manifest form. Do you understand that? Do you get that? God mind is not about manifestation. Ego tripartite mind is about manifestation. Okay? And then the other reason why I might feel lost and I can't do anything, and I don't know what to do, is I cannot access my forms. You see? I cannot access them at the speed of light, spontaneously. And this is where the God mind comes in. So if I was watching you would eventually see what was coming in, but you were like, I would say, a second and a half after. Do you see that? So you stay completely in a reactionary mode, not in the here and now. And so, and that's what the ego tripartite does. You're either early or late. You can't be in the present. You see, and that's where the God mind can be in the present. Okay, and so you're chasing things, right? That they're already gone, or you're falling for fakes because you were predicting them. You see, and now it's like, man, I can't get anything going, and that's that sense of that. Okay. So when it comes to access, this comes to the skill of, can I release from the ego tripartite mind? Can I reconcile fear? Can I reconcile desire? Can I free myself from those things? Like as in one of the blocks that I showed, you see. And that's a skill. It's not a state, it's a skill that you develop. Again, and as a skill then, is it not related to the training equation? Do you see? So again, it's not that we just saw in the 3 senpai a bunch of forms, but we saw the fluidity and the adaptability, you see? That's that other part. And again, if you go and you calculate out, like you want to be a coach, do you see? Let's say you want to be a coach. You want to see, okay, that athlete is getting this to work, right? Not that we're athletes, but they're getting that to work. What do they do? You see, and you would plot for it. You got to plot for the hours, you see? And I would say, as I've always said, man, do the hours first, and then start plotting for, lesson plans and training environments and all that kind of stuff. Because people with hours can overcome bad teachers, bad schedules, bad information, and that people don't realize that. Because they're sold on this academic intellect kind of thing. But I've seen people, I remember when I was racing and I was this was early on, I was at national level, there was a kid from Alaska. Is that a mecca of anything? Do you know what I mean? But he just worked harder. He worked hard enough to overcome his poor environment, his poor training environment, you see. I was training as a teenager with world champions. You're going to get fast, you see that? But you don't need the world champions to get fast. You just got to work harder because you don't have world champions, you see. And that kid was every bit as competitive as everyone. And he was tougher, because it's going to make you tougher, you see. You do all that kind of work and stuff, right? So, and that's just been my experience. If you wait for the ideal teacher and the ideal lesson plans and the ideal schedule, you're really missing out. You got to do whatever it takes, right, to what you want to accomplish. And what you want to accomplish here is that middle diamond. Do you understand? I don't want all the forms. That's not enough, right? And I want to be able to do something, okay? But I'm after the middle one, and I will do whatever it takes. And where I'm telling you to start is you have to start with the training equations. Okay? I'm not saying it's the end all, but it is the place to start. And there's no point going beyond it if you haven't yet achieved it. Get it? If you have achieved it, then we can start looking at other things. Okay? And so that your question was, how do I stop being lost? And I would say, get the training equation first. And then we'll go from there. Okay? That's how I answer that question, okay? Okay, so remember the art is concentric. So you can't posit Jiu-jitsu or sparring or whatever in contrast to your forms training. You see, the pattern means that you are supposed to reconcile form and non-form, which means that dichotomy is not true. Do you understand? Okay, so right now, form Jiu-jitsu or Kihon Waza looks totally different from Jiu-jitsu, but it's not at a conceptual level. Okay? In Kihon Waza, no matter who the uke is, no matter their best intentions, they never can come in 100% exactly the same way. They can't. Okay? Yet you must end up the same way in Kihon Waza. So in my opinion, true Kihon Waza is harder than Jiu-Waza because the ending has been set for me. It's no matter what he does, I have to make sure he ends up in the same place by the same concepts. In Jiu-Waza, I get to pick how he wants to end. You see that? So Jiu-Waza for me is actually way easier than Kihon Waza. But most people do Kihon Waza in the way they might do Jiu-Waza, where they're yonging everything and forcing everything, you see? So, well, I don't know. Let's say we're doing Shuhari Waza, and you would go, that has nothing to do with what I just saw, okay? But at the level of mind, it's exactly the same. So, as he goes, right, I can tell you he's pushing down. Did you feel it? Okay. So we'll try to duplicate it again. But normally, what's he supposed to do? He's supposed to push in. But he changed it and he started to push down. You see that? So when he pushes down, if I now try to go up like the normal form, then I'm yonging. Do you understand? So he pushed down and I'll go here. Do you see? And so I'll do it again for the camera to see. So normal form, don't push down. Normal form is here. There was no downward pressure on it. So he goes to push down. For me to push up now, that would be yang. That's no different than he's coming in on me and me doing that. You see? Me pushing on him externally mechanically. So instead, we'll go here. I don't know if you can see it, Taylor. You probably have to come on this side. Okay, so he had that downward pressure, so I'm going to go down and go behind him. You see that? So you can push straight or you can push down. Okay, you got it? And we'll do the kazushi and we'll start over and you'll go again. Okay, so he's going to go. So it looked like, if you're not paying attention, it looks like the same technique. But you're supposed to go, Dave went down on one and went up on the other. And now you got to reverse engineer. Oh, he's not just doing style. He wants to push down. But usually you don't make that conclusion. Do you see? You got it? So as we're moving on with the form, okay, and look, you can see, because he came back, if you paid attention. So he went back, and then he came back forward. Well, that's going to be yang right here. Do you see that? And so he goes back and forward. Now I just clap. You see that? As I try to enter against that. So you would feel that he's coming back. You understand? You guys would never notice that because it looked the same to you. But there's actually a Jiu-Waza where you're harmonizing yin and yang at all these little micro levels that you do in a drill like that. You see that? So if you just have a form and you're like, all right, you see? And that you try to do that every time, that is abiding in form. The form is dominating you. You're supposed to feel what the uke is doing and not violate the concepts of the art. So if you feel yang, you don't press into yang. You release at the moment of yang. Do you understand that? Okay, so that doesn't look like my Aikido. You can see that? Like, I would be exhausted if I had to train like that. And I'd probably be really strong, like a bunch of the Aikidoka out there. They get strong because they're just pushing people all day long. Do you understand? Okay? So we'll do that technique, and you're going to, without it looking like you stopped, make these micro adjustments, and you're going to see, yeah, I can't do that either, okay? You know what to do, but you can't access what to do, okay? All right, let's see what we do.